Hello, sports fans. This is Joe DuPont broadcasting from Bradford County, the epicenter of the world. And this has to do with the assassination of Osama bin Laden, or the alleged assassination of Osama bin Laden. It seems to me, and if you really are honest, intellectually honest to yourself, you will recall that when we first started thinking about going after Osama bin Laden, we were told over and over and over again that he had kidney issues and that he was on kidney dialysis, and that number one, it would be very difficult to treat him in the hills and dales of places, and number two, that if he was treated, that just the tracking of the medical supplies needed to keep this gentleman or this animal or whatever you want to call him alive would lead a trail to him and make it very easy for him to be captured, found, killed, whatever, so that he was caught between a rock and a hard place. Now, there have been many rumors that Osama bin Laden has been dead for quite a while, and the fact that the Al-Qaeda admits now that he's been killed, and they're making the most out of the circumstances. He was killed unarmed and all that. They say that does not mean that they actually don't know that he died previously. I've had various YouTubes on this, and I think the logic makes sense that if you were them, you'd do the same thing. You would not admit that your leader died, and that you would find a duplicate or a clone or something to make it look like your man was still alive, and that all the efforts of the United States and its allies were futile in trying to take Osama bin Laden out. Now this is, that type of thing. So you can expect them to have not just admitted Osama bin Laden was dead from natural causes previously, and you would expect that now that when they're not going to say, "Oh, you got the imposter," because that would have made them a liar, would reduce their credibility. And so now, thanks to Obama taking whoever that was and throwing him in the drink, perhaps we'll never know. I would like to believe my president, I really would, but the fact of the matter is, and this is the question you have to ask, go on aauw.org and write letters to your congressmen and senators, and write letters to the editor on this issue. Where was the kidney dialysis machine of Osama bin Laden? Now, it just doesn't make sense to me that they took Osama bin Laden back and forth to hospitals and stuff for this treatment. They would have had to bring the equipment into him so he would have a low profile. But the fact that there was no escape tunnel out of this place, there was no way out of this place, would lead me to believe that indeed he was not Osama bin Laden, because they never would have put Osama bin Laden in a situation where he could be closed in and taken without some ability to escape. It just doesn't make any sense. That was the whole point, him being in these caves with lots of exits and all that, that supposedly he was able to survive when they were dropping all kinds of bombs on top of him. So you have to ask yourself, where was Osama bin Laden's kidney dialysis equipment? Now, they told us this over and over and over again. Were they lying to us? Were they lying to us? You have to understand that Osama bin Laden was our buddy when he was killing Russians. And his efforts led to, not all of them, but the Russians lost about, 30, 40, 50,000 troops. It was their Vietnam and Afghanistan. They just got creamed thanks to our weaponry and thanks to Osama bin Laden. But it goes back to gas and a gas pipeline, which I'm only starting to understand, that had to go through Afghanistan and not through Iran, because Iran doesn't love us anymore. And the Al-Qaeda didn't want to play with the U.S. government or the various energy forces And so they gave the Taliban some sort of ultimatum that either you take the gold to help us do this, or we're going to drop bombs on you. And there's some evidence indicating that there was a plan in effect prior to 9/11 to go into Afghanistan and assert ourselves there. So it would definitely be interesting to find out where this kidney dialysis equipment was. And if it wasn't there, folks, to me this lends credence to the possibility that it wasn't Osama bin Laden that they picked up and dumped in a drink. They picked up some guy who was probably being taken care of to some extent. I mean, he lived in very, very, very modest means, which in itself doesn't say too much. But if they were dealing with a second-rate person that wasn't Osama bin Laden, then they wouldn't have to give him that much. They just kind of give him food and all that. And who knows? Maybe he was practicing to look good. Maybe he was, all these tapes of him looking at himself doing his work, maybe he was actually trying to do the best job he could to pass himself off as Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden didn't have to pass himself off. So anyhow, we do know that the government lied about Pat Tillman, how he died. We know that the government is known to lie, and they will say, they will justify it saying it's because it's for the betterment of everybody. And there may be some validity to that. But right now, I don't trust our president on virtually everything he says. He's lied about everything he's said he was going to do, including forcing me to get mandatory health insurance. He's done everything to take this country down, to make us more vulnerable. And it goes on and on and on. And his followers keep on saying, give the man a chance. Well, let me tell you. And they say, oh, look what he inherited. But all I can tell you is virtually every decision he's made has led us further and further down on this death spiral to economic destruction. We cannot sustain ourselves. He's building bigger government and bigger and bigger and bigger government, which means more pensions. He's doing everything possible to destroy this nation. Okay? So you call it what it may, and hopefully the next election will boot him out with resolve. And in that regard, we'll be vindicated the fact that we made a mistake electing Obama, whatever his name is, Barry, whatever. It's unbelievable, and no one seems to want to question the fact that this PDF file he issued out of the White House. This wasn't made up, folks. You still may be able to download this PDF file. It's a multi-layered PDF file of his birth certificate, and you can see all kinds of stuff going on. I mean, it's obviously not just a copy of his birth certificate. I mean, there's something obviously very, 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 very wrong with this file. And of course he said, we give this file out, and then they're still going to say something. Well, we are going to say something because it doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense. I just killed an ant. Feel bad about it. So anyhow, that's the deal. Go back and check about Osama bin Laden and his kidney dialysis machines and his need for kidney dialysis, and that goes back 10 years. Now you got to understand, this guy's laying low, probably not in the most hygiene circumstances, and if he actually was still alive, there should be some sort of kidney dialysis equipment in that place where they actually got him and shot him in the head. You know, unless you're trying to actually assassinate somebody, the police shoot to the body because it's a bigger target. To shoot someone in the head, okay, is a shot of an assassin because there's no body armor on the head. As a matter of fact, who was that? Gordon Liddy, whatever his name, Gordon Liddy was telling people, if you ever have your house invaded by whoever, and I won't go into that, you shoot for the head because that's the only way you can assure a kill. In the case of the police, they don't go for headshots. They don't go for shooting guns out of people's arms, although some snipers and some hotshots have done that. The standard procedure is go for the chest area and drop the guy, and that's what you do. And That's the story, folks. I know you Obama people don't want to hear anything. I know you got your head in the sand. You just don't want to know. You just feel that if you say anything about Obama not being exactly as good as you thought he would be, your head's going to explode by some microchip or something. There's got to be something going on, that you're in some sort of fear that hurts. I mean, it must cause traumatic brain trauma for you to even imagine that you might have voted for the wrong person. And I'll be honest with you, McCain was not really the right person either. Okay, I voted for a third candidate, and Ralph Nader. Not that I totally agree with him, but I think he's more intellectually honest. And Obama was a sellout. Good cop, bad cop, they're all working for the same people. So yeah, I did not vote for Obama. I did not vote for McCain. And I was pissed off at George Bush for what he did on the border and what he did to the border guards to keep those borders open as much as he could. And Obama wants to do the same. There's an invasion going on, folks, and when the government stops states from trying to survive, there's something up. This is called the New World Order, and we have Hillary Clinton trying to make deals with the UN so that they can come in and have the UN give up sovereignty and have the UN control our ability to have guns. And as you know, every place in the world where they take away the guns, you can have nasty dictators, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. And what are we doing? We're trying to arm rebels so they can take out Gaddafi. Turns out those rebels happen to be 40% of them happen to be Al Qaeda related. Al Qaeda, does that ring a bell? So we've been tied in with Al Qaeda for a long time. And after I get done with this video, I want to do some more research on where the people who flew those planes trained. Some of them, I understand, trained in U.S. military facilities. Now, I haven't seen that for a fact, but I will put links on my Facebook, which is Joseph DuPont, 2 words, on Facebook. And anyhow, thank you for listening. Don't give up hope. Write your letters to the editors. Ask your congressmen and your senators about the dialysis equipment, which should have been found where they knocked off Osama bin Laden, if in fact that's who it was they knocked off. Okay? Anyhow, eat your greens and repeal Obamacare. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.